Welcome back. This is MDawg. We're here at Old Berg. We see you got this 4.4 trophy bream order just staring us right in the face. We also have a couple of rough orders. So we need to decide which one. Y'all remember that little rough spot we hit? Get it? Rough spot. Actually, I might try that. Do you think we can hit this? This has got, oh, this is about to run out. This is actually about to run out, so that changes things. Then you're just talking about 35. Now, you might be able to do both of these. You might be able to do both of those. Man, it'd be a real bummer to miss a bream night and it not work out. But let's try it. I don't even remember the exact spot, but I think I'll recognize it. Do they sell red worms here? Because I bet if the bite rate is still really good, I bet we're going to blow through these red worms. They do not. I'm not buying that many red worms. I'm just not. Oh, we're going to be down near camp too, guys. Let's make some tea. Again, I don't know how long this series is going to go. In fact, once we get down there and kind of set up, holy cow, that would take so long. Let's just do like, let's just do 3 of those. Oh yeah, we've got plenty. And we want to make sure we have wood. And we still should have plenty of matches, right? Yeah, okay. All right, good. Good. So let's give this a try. Instead of bringing this time, so because the other thing I want to do is someone posted on VK about a common roach spot. It's really a spot that would be like for complete noobs, right? Like I'd say noobs. Is that word like negative still? I guess it is. I feel like we use it so much now. Maybe it's not as negative. I don't know. Complete beginners is what I'm trying to say. And see if we can find this spot. Isn't it like just right here? Holy cow. Or was it right here? I feel like it was right here. I may have to pull up my old video. The one that we did that on. Alright, so we want, I think we want like 18s and 19s probably. And we do want red worms. And I think it was an 8-meter clip. Like, I literally don't remember. It might have been. Remember, this is the spot where I guessed that. I was guessing that if you fished here. I'll tell you the other thing we can do is we can use worms on the last one. Instead of red worms. I was guessing. Wait, did we clip that at all? I was guessing that if you fished here overnight, it would be much better. Because we kind of did it during the day and it seemed really bad. But you were catching, you know, when we first got here, it was like, okay, yeah, we are catching rough and white bream. That's good. All right, so a couple things. I don't want to forget about all the things. Okay, first of all, let me just talk for a minute. So we're still doing this leveling guide, obviously. I don't have a specific time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop at this time. But I also think I am going to start, I think, a leveling guide on the fish your own line. I feel like it's a good time to do that. So we're going to overlap both leveling guides, knowing that this one probably won't last forever or too much longer. But just so you know, when this leveling guide does end, I will switch back to just creating general RF4 content on my main account, which does mean it'll be probably a little more like carp fishing, but I'll try to work in, like right now, Volkov has been like so many people fishing at Volkov. And so, you know, if we weren't doing this leveling guide, I'm sure I'd be doing a lot of videos figuring out different spots on Volkov, which would be fun. So that's the one thing. Now, if I do start a Fish Your Own Line leveling guide, I am going to restart my account, which means the first video actually will probably be a pretty short video what to expect when you restart your account, because there's some like things that I want to make sure people understand and actually see what that process looks like for me, so that if you were to watch my leveling guide and say, oh, that seems like a good idea, you will know fully what you're getting into. And more on that when I get around to that. What else are we doing? I want to continue the Lotro series. If I'm being honest, the problem with the Lotro series, and I kind of always run into this, and I don't mind being transparent on this, but if you look at like what is getting traction on my channel right now, the Lotro videos are, now at first, when I first started the series, they did perform well enough that I was like, okay, there's enough interest that this works. It was always like just over 100 views, right? Which for me, the size of my channel, I'm like, hey, people are enjoying, there's enough people watching this that it's cool. But I think the longer I go with that kind of series on an MMO that's that old, it seems like the interest wanes. Let's see, 17 hours ago. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. That's my fear. But regardless on how the views are going on that series, I just love playing Lotro. So as long as I'm enjoying playing it, I will probably continue that series as well. Although, I thought this was my main account for a second. I was going to throw down the lanterns. Although, I might not prioritize getting those episodes in as often as I have been. We'll see. We'll see. I did my first Lost Ark video yesterday, and that has been pretty well received. If you look at the numbers, that is overperforming compared to Lotro, of course, but it is underperforming compared to the RF4 content. So, and that's just the nature of my channel, right? We've spent a lot of time, both on Twitch and on YouTube, trying to facilitate Russian Fishing 4 viewers and trying to build community. And as a result of that, when I do something that is fishing related, especially Russian Fishing 4, we'll see how this Fisher Online, this is going to be a good experiment. If I do a one-off Fisher Online video, typically, it seems like you guys really like that. And I get a lot of people checking it out. I'm not sure that'll hold true on a series. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so that's enough talking about what's coming up, I'd say this next week or two, kind of where you should expect the channel to head. You never know when I'm going to change my mind about something or get a new idea, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Alright, so we're hoping that we will get enough to fulfill both the rough and the white bream order. That's the hope here. And then after that, we're going to go try out this common roach spot for beginners back at Mosquito, because that can sometimes be helpful. And I'm just curious to see what it seems like. Alright, so now this is going to be the part where we probably need to lower the volume and maybe do like 3 at a time, then go catch some fish and then come back. I'm just going to do general volume like all the way down like that. Alright, so let's make 3. And then let's go check on fish, and we'll just continue to do this. Oops, there's nothing on this. I guess I just didn't tighten it. So weird fishing when I can't hear it. As soon as we get done with a few T's, though, I will reset the volume. Alright, is there a clip on this? Yeah, we did clip it. Alright. Couldn't remember if we ever got around to clipping it. I never did pull up my other video to see if we're even in the right spot. Regardless, this spot seems to be working, so... Alright, that's just a nibble, so let's continue to tee it up. See what I did there? So where are we on T? We're back up to 59 portions. After we make, you know, however much we're making, we should be well over 100. Oh, that's a nice rough. That's a good rough there. Okay. And if we keep digging, we keep getting the red worms, which is good. And probably, to be efficient, we probably at some point do want to switch to coffee as well. But as long as we're getting points on tea, I'm kind of good with it, because you always need tea. The fact that it gives you comfort and a little bit of energy is nice. But then when you really want to start hitting the energy, it is obviously really good to have coffee as well. So we can now make macaroon Russian and pickled cucumbers. But we keep getting points on tea. You get points on tea for quite a while, if I remember correctly. We have 17 left. Doing good. And how many? Yeah, we're up to 100 portions now. We still should have the effect of the last tea we drank, so I won't drink another one here. This is not a rough. Big white bream, I like that. So worm's interesting here. Worm's doing okay. Red worm's probably a little better, but worm's doing all right. All right. I'm going to pull up. Let me see if I can find the video where we did this. I think we did it at the beginning of the video, if I remember correctly. Shouldn't be hard to find, but let's see. That couldn't have been more than like 3 or 4 episodes ago. It just feels like it was fairly recent. I just want to see, like, were we fishing at the same spot? Actually, this might not be as easy as I thought. Was it this one? Wait, that's where the bream dried up. Was that is that the one where we ended up fishing? Is when the bream spot had dried up? Might have been before that. This is it, isn't it? We're at 36.28. We're at 36.28. This is the exact same spot. We were also using ground bait, which we're not doing right now. We could throw some ground bait on. I think we just had like Crucian Gibble ground bait on there. Awesome. We found it. Why is it so slow? Maybe we need to put some ground bait on. I do wonder if we've already gotten enough rough for that order. We've got 9 portions left. We're at 148. So let's think about this. Why can't I open up my keep net? There we go. So we only have 3. There's no way. On white bream we have 4. Probably not. And I don't think we have any ingredients. We can just throw some random ground bait on there, I guess. All right, let's finish the tee off so we can just get our volume back up. All right, where are we? That's it. Perfect. All right, we better have a fish on. All right, let's go. Let's go some random ground bait that, like fake tench. We'll use up our fake tench ground bait. You may be asking, what's in the fake tench ground bait? Semolina corn maggots and sunflower oil. I'm going to go smaller hook on this one. It's ridiculous we're not doing a little better here. Maybe this spot's drying up a bit too. All right. Audio going up for a second here. Yeah, I really had envisioned us being able to do this little white bream rough thing a little quicker than this. The rough should be biting all night long, you know. And this is what I was saying at the beginning, like, this could be a disaster in terms of comparing to what we could have made just by normally fishing bream. So when I first logged in, there was like a cafe order for 3 1-kilo bream. Oh, I see what people are talking about. There's like shadows on my head now. I don't know what I'm going to do about light. I guess one thing I could look at doing is moving the mic, because I think it's probably the boom, the mic holder that's causing that shadow. I don't know. But anyway, the bream order was like disappearing in like 20 seconds. So I knew we couldn't do that. And I saw the trophy bream order and I was like, maybe. What can I do with this? That is definitely what's making that shadow. That's not going to pick me up as well, though. I bet that's not either. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So in the past, the way I used to have this set up, I was able to put a lamp basically behind me, behind and to the left, which is why I always had the camera like angling to the right a little bit. But having the light come from behind kind of helped everything with shadows and stuff. Now the light is either coming from my left, which I think will still have shadows, or up above. Maybe I go turn on the lamp again and turn off the overhead, see if that changes shadows. Maybe that's worth trying here. Let me do that. As you can probably see, it's going to be a little darker in general, but there's no shadow because there's no light coming from the other side of the boom mic now. And I think it's still light enough. I think we're okay. All right. What do we have now in terms of... I have a feeling it's going to be 5 rough, right? Now, white bream, we might be okay now. Maybe rough, we're okay now. You know what? I'm going to go check. And if we're okay, I'm going to turn the cafe orders in and we'll probably just leave. Even though we'd have a rough or something down here on the line. If we're not okay, then we have hopefully caught another fish or two down at the fishing poles. What a disaster. All right, so if we want to wait for white bream, we need one more over 164. We have a little bit of time. If we want another rough, we need 2 more than 44. That's why the right answer so often is bream. Although, you know, I wasn't expecting this spot to have slowed down this much. I also got distracted because when we first looked, there were 2 rough orders and the white bream order, and that just seemed like too good to pass on. That is not the case anymore. All right, I think we need to go. It's 5 a.m. We should still be able to catch rough. So let's go like really small. We could go 24, in fact. Like get it off of our float. Come on, be over 44. That's not big enough for white bream either. All right, so let's see. We got a 22 here. 22 here. Did we put our 24 on one of them? Yeah. So like you throw that 24 on there, at least for the rough, that should help, right? But how big is this one? 20? My goodness. Oh, so close, but so far away. All right, there's the rough. We needed 2 more though, right? We just needed 1 more white bream and 2 more rough. So we're still in the same position, which is hashtag disaster. We're going to start probably having more crucian and gibbles mixed in at this time of day. There's a perch. Was 140 the cutoff? Shoot, I don't remember. Might have been like slightly more than that. That's a sleeper. What are we at? 571. We're going to be over 600. Alright, so that does it on white bream, right? Can we get a last second rough now? It's a little late for rough, isn't it? We're getting some significant nibbles going on here. Probably not a rough. Oh, come on. As soon as we see what these nibbles are, I think we're just going to move on, accept our defeat. Because these probably aren't rough doing this kind of nibbling. Oh, it's another nice white bream though. This has turned into a pretty good white bream spot, although that will dry up too once it gets a little later in the morning in terms of the big ones. Sounds like rough at Belaya is still pretty healthy. That's good to know. Zero chance this is a rough, right? I guess I'm not going to wait any longer. Again, I don't know what it was, but it's not a rough nibbling like that. Out of those two orders, like, to not be able to finish the rough one, that's surprising to me. I mean, it's 35 silver, but still, this one's 25. So let's just make sure that those white bream, I think it'll probably be worth what, like twice as much. All right, that'd be 20, but actually we're able to do it for this, which is 16. So not quite twice as much. It's not the best order ever, but it's still better. So we'll take it. We would have eventually gotten there on Crucian in that spot too. It's just a frustrating little exercise there. It's not often that, you know, I just kind of felt like we should have been able to finish that rough order. Although it might have also been my fault for starting off with larger than necessary hooks. We could have leaned into the rough a little harder from the start and probably finished it a little more manageable, but... All right, let's check out this mosquito spot real quick, and then we'll call it a day. We do have this one roach order, so that'll help. That'll give us 11 silver. We're already at 630, so this is nice. Let me remember where the spot is. 9880. I think this is just like... Oh, man. It's well on the other side of the world. Okay, so we want to make sure we've got everything we want. We're going to be using pearl barley as bait. I think we do need some... I would like to make some more common roach ground bait. So we need crackers, bloodworm, and we got caramel. I wonder if it's actually faster to run this way, especially from here. It probably is. 98.80. I guess the other thing is I need to make sure we've got the right hook size. Okay, so like we could use 8. Eight, 12. I kind of want to have one that's 10, to be honest, though. So let's grab a 10. This way we can go ahead and set these up while we're running. So on this one we'll go 10. Okay, let's get over there and then we can set the third one up. So we're just hoping for a reasonable bite rate on roach over here. It's always nice to have, especially when it's daytime like this, a spot on mosquito for newer players where they can go use basic bottom setups and catch some roach to hit cafe orders, or just to give them something to do during the day in case they're like focusing on rough at night or crucian gibbles at night. Sometimes the middle of the day can slow down so much on crucian gibbles. Obviously rough or non-existent, white bream pretty much non-existent. So these rough spots are good to have in your back pocket, especially if you are a newer player. So we're going over to 98.80, which should be right here. And let's look kind of where we are. We're going to be casting, I think, like this. It doesn't really matter. We're only going out 10 meters, so it's not like we're hitting any holes or anything. We're just going to cast straight out, I guess. And let's see if this does anything for us. This thing seems promising. Alright, so on this one, we want to make sure we have roach mix. We want to go to the 12 hook. And we are using pearl barley. So I say this is for beginners, and it is, but it's only a beginner spot if you are using your resources pretty quickly to level up bait harvesting. Because at least the way we're doing it... Oh, guess what? We don't have it on the right... At least the way we're doing it, we're using pearl barley. Now, are there other baits you could use to catch rough? Obviously. But pearl barley works really well for roach. Alright, that's what we want to see. Pretty quick bite there. It was marker size. And that was on the 8 hook. So we go 8, 10, 12 from left to right. 10 might be the sweet spot. But I kind of wanted to see the other sides of that too, to see if 8's still working pretty good and if 12 doesn't catch like too many that are less than marker size. They're roach, so we will get lots of nibbling. All right, 2 for 2 on the 8 hook. $12 hook. This also seems like a pretty good one. Oh yeah. So if you are a new player and you know, you're hitting cafe orders at Mosquito, or you're trying to just catch lots of nice crucian gibbles at night. Oh, there's an undersized one. But you're looking for something to do during the middle part of the day. These kind of spots, this is where it's at. Because it's amazing how much, when it's a decent bite rate, it's amazing how much it will add up in terms of silver. You can also hit roach cafe orders really well. And it just gives you something to do, keep catching fish, even when your normal spots are slowing down a bit, because of the heat and the time of day. Another nice one. There we go. All right, we'll get a couple more here and then we'll wrap it up. If you don't have pearl barley yet, then you might just try worms. You could try peas. If it's a really healthy roach spot, peas will work good. Pick up the big ones, the big roach, but sometimes it slows it down too much. What are those things called? Maggots or even bark beetle larvae often do really well with roach. There's lots of things you can try. Roach are not super picky. Here's another nice one. Yeah, they're looking really healthy in this spot. Alright, so that's good. Alright, let me relog, be back real quick. Wasn't the roach order like for really small roach? This might be one of those situations where it's somewhat close on whether or not it's worth it to do the cafe order. Also just wanted to look at the shop really quick. We're getting closer and closer on silver according to what we're going to do for our next reel. Okay, so we're talking about the smallest 5 for $11.60. I bet it's still worth it, but not by much. It is. It's about twice as much. All right. So lots of cool orders here. You know, always want to see rough at Mosquito. White bream, sometimes doable. Crucian gibbles, all in one. 3 cafe orders at one time is always good to see. So some pretty nice orders at the moment. Bleak are possible, though can be tricky at mosquito. All right, so we're at 633. Let's get our free meal in. Okay, 633. What is our plan? Is the Supercast just out of stock everywhere we can go right now? I mean, that was the whole thing, was we were going to try that. I guess we could try the Saber 40. Which I hate to do because I don't actually think that's that smart. I think it's worth saving up for the Saber 60. We could get a second Pulsar, but that would be a lot more saving. Is a Meteor sold out here too? Wow. Wow. It's a bummer. I guess the next step would be to check at Old Berg or Quarry just to see. All right. We'll cross that bridge. I don't even know how much. I need to look up and see how much it cost. Oh. All right. As always, thanks for watching. Tight lines.